Millions of women worldwide are living in communities characterized by insecure tenure, illegal evictions, and poor housing conditions that expose them to severe pollution, overcrowding, polluted water, and inadequate sanitation. In Uganda alone, women still have unequal access to and control of productive assets like land, with only 20% of registered land owned by women, according to the 2010 National Development Plan. Continued discrimination faced by women in all matters relating to land, housing and property is the single most critical factor in the perpetuation of gender inequality and poverty. From the widow who loses her property to her in-laws, to the orphan girl who loses her home due to inherited rights to men, to a pregnant mother who is living in inadequate housing and is prone to health issues due to unhygienic and unsanitary conditions of living in the slums. This clearly depicts the need to support creation avenues for them to access adequate housing, land and property. Housing is beyond the physical structures of the roof and the four walls. It relates much more to what is good living and a home. It is a necessity of life that includes access to clean and safe water, good hygiene, sanitation, and a safe environment. However, housing rights in Uganda are often overlooked or marginalized within the context of discussions on the eradication of poverty in the process of development programming and is often left to the private sectors and individuals. This is evidenced in the national budgetary allocation to the housing sector that was at only 0.20% in 2013-2014 and at 0.025% in 2014-2015 of the entire Ministry of Land, Housing and Urban Development budget. Shelter and Settlements Alternatives, Uganda Human Settlements Network, recognizes that empowering women to access land, housing and property rights is a matter not only of human rights and gender equality, but a fundamental principle that ensures economic development for all. Promoting urban poor women's housing and property rights is a project funded by UN Women Fund for Gender Equality, currently being implemented by Shelter and Settlements Alternatives, Uganda Human Settlements Network.
In Jinja we have 4 groups, and in Kampala we have 2 groups. So this project is aimed at empowering women to know their rights on housing, land, property, and a series of of trainings have been carried out to empower these women on their rights of land, housing. We have training on paralegal, housing finance training. We have training on housing cooperative training. Then we also have dialogues that we have been able to hold. So far we have held one dialogue with microfinance institutions, where we brought all of microfinance institutions to come and talk to our ladies so to create awareness on different issues on the different accounts that they have, different interest rates, how they can acquire loans. Because this is in a way that we want to encourage them to save with the bank than saving their money in their pockets or in their boats.
The project is targeting 6 women groups in Jinja and Kampala districts, comprised of HIV/AIDS infected and affected women, widows and disadvantaged women who have a common goal of acquiring decent and affordable housing.
SSA, we have just started working in Kampala and Jinja so far, but as time goes on, we are getting many other projects that we are going to expand all over. We are even already moving to up countries. We are going to Kabale, or going to Gulu, to all the other districts as time goes on. But this project specifically, the UN Women Fund for Gender Equality, is only in Jinja and Kampala with the 6 women groups. But SSA, through its lobbying capacity, we are getting more funds, and we believe we are going to expand in the rest of the country.
While as Shelter and Settlements Alternatives, Uganda Human Settlements Network is striving to empower the women, the goal remains far-fetched, therefore calling for prioritization of housing and continued symposium platform with government, private sectors, housing developers and policy makers to map out strategies and ideas on women's access to housing, land and property rights for economic empowerment. To train a woman is to train a nation. Adequate housing, my right, our responsibility.